Uh-huh. Okay. Yankev, you want to start?
Okay. In der Achsanje haben sich gedreht allerlei Jiden und Weiber. Was nicht man hat sie gefragt, was sie willen und wer sie seien. So at the inn, all sorts of men and women were wandering around, and no one asked them what they wanted or who they were. A Jid hat geblosen mit a Chalieva bei a räuchendicken Samovar. One man, and I couldn't really understand what this meant. He was blowing with a Chalevia is a bootleg, but what that means, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't understand it either.
Yeah, so he was blowing at a smoking samovar.
I thought it meant, I looked it up, fanning. He was fanning the flame by the samovar.
Okay, that makes sense.
Eva was a fan.
A fan, okay. So at a smoking samovar.
Yeah, I think that works.
Ja. Die Mama hat gefragt a Weibel, sie man kann kriegen a Löffel gekerts für uns. So my mother asked a woman if she could get some cooked food for us. Das Weibel, säugendiger Kind, hat geantwortet, als ob man will a Joichel, kann sie schicken zum Scheuchet Schechten an auf. So the woman who was suckling, nursing a child, answered that if we want some soup, she could send a chicken to shecht, to the shochet, to shecht the chicken. Hat genug Zeit, hat das Weibel uns beruhigt. You've got enough time, the young woman told us.
Yeah, calm. Yeah.
Calm us down. Sie wollen nicht herausrühren sich mit die Beuten vor Sonnenuntergang. They won't move themselves on the wagons before sunset. Sie hat kein Liegen nicht gesucht, das Weibel. So the young woman didn't say anything that wasn't true. Die Balagoles haben gehalten in ein reinpacken neue Säck und Päck und Fässer. So the wagon drivers continually were working at packing new sacks and packets and barrels. Dennoch seien sie gelaufen, rufen die paar Scheunen wieder weg und wieder zurückgekommen. And after that, they ran to call people. They went away and they came back again. Dennoch hat sich angehoben eine Geschichte von Kave und Pferd, bei welchen die Potkewe ist los geworden. And after that, they began a story with a shoe, of a horseshoe, a coven affair to shoe a horse, where the horseshoe had become loose. Von verrichten a Gespann, they had to repair the harness. von Binden und Packen und Überpacken, tying up and packing and repacking. Die Beut ist gewinn lang und groß und gelattet und behangen mit Emmers und Lanterns und sei ungepackt. So the wagon was long and big and torn, and there were buckets hanging from it and lanterns, and it was so packed up as es hat ausgesehen, als man kein Spielke nicht reinpacken. And it was, it seemed as though it was so packed up that it seemed as though you couldn't even get pack another pin on it. Aber die Balagolas haben reingepackt paar Scheunen und Päck. But the wagon drivers packed on people and parcels, packages. Die Pferd, drei in der Breit, seinen Gewinn knochig und belegt mit Leders und Strick und Passen. The horses who were harnessed three next to one another were bony, and they had leathers and strings and stripes on them. Noch größer Hachones hat man der Herd endlich die Balagolas Heserik Ruf. After these extensive preparations, one heard finally from the Balagolas this call. Wir Neveles, Jota, blinder gegangen. So, oi, you carcasses, Jota, you blind ones, let's go.
Thank you. Susan? Susan?
Ist Susan nicht da?
Someone else
Oh,
continue.
Sie ist verschwunden
Hey,
geworden.
Yankov, you want to continue more a little?
Okay,
Looks like that.
okay. Die Beut hat sich gleich genommen treißeln über dem schlechten Chaussee, voll mit Grieber und Lecher und Berglich und Tollen. So the wagon immediately began to shudder over the bad road, full of furrows and holes and hills and valleys. A weißer Stäub hat sich aufgehoben und als eingehielt. A white dust was lifted and covered everything. Die paar Scheunen eingequetschte einer in anderen haben sich geträßelt, gehetzket, gehat teines zu sich, gesifzt, gekrächzt. So the passengers who were squeezed in one next to the other were they were shaking, they bounced, and they complained and they sighed and they groaned. Die Fässer Naft haben zugeschmeckt. Von die Säck Mehl und Salz ist gegangen nach Stäub. So the barrels of paraffin smelt of paraffin. And from the sacks of flour and salt, there arose a dust. Die Mama hat mich oft gefragt, sie, es ist mir nicht hart. My mother frequently asked me if the seat wasn't very hard. Mir hat sich geglust lachen von ihrer Rede. I wanted to burst out laughing from what she said. Wer hart? Was hart? Why? Where hard? What do you mean hard? Ich bin great gewinn, sitzen auf ein harten Säckel Salz, auf a Spitz von a Fass, a beforen mit Ot der Beut. So I was prepared to sit on the hardest bag of salt on the edge of a barrel, just only that I should be able to travel on the wagon. Hören das Knacken von die fertige Podkevers, to hear the clicking of the horses' horseshoes, das Reibenisch von die Räder, das Pfeifen von Balagola und seine oft heiserige Keules, to hear the click of the horses' horseshoes, the squeak of the wheels, the blowing, the whistling of the balagola, the wagon driver, and his frequent hoarse shouts. Vjor neveles, a ruch in eire gepeikerte mammes, die kobilias. So, hoi, you carcasses, to hell with your dead mothers, those old mares. Visto, blinder, es trappen in der Fell, as ist nicht gehen gleich im Gespann. You blind ones, you'll catch it on your skin if you don't drive together all together in the harness. Hierto gerietze. So hi, move yourselves.
Janke, what did you say about strappen in der Fell? I didn't hear, sorry.
That you'll catch it on your skin.
On
your skin. On your back. On your...
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, this is how I understood it.
Excuse me, I had an important call to answer. Where page?
Okay.
What
Thank you, Yankev. You want to continue, Susan?
Mehr wichtig wie Yiddish?
There you go. Susan, do you know where we are?
No, that's what I want to know.
Den ganzen Weg,
Oh, okay, do you want me to read now?
if you want, yeah.
Okay. Dem ganzen Weg hat gehabt eines zu dem blinden Pferd und gesiedeltes auf was die Welt steht. During the whole trip, he had complaints about the blind horse, and he poked fun at it and he made fun of it as much as he possibly could. As bald is men rein in the Wälder. Soon we came into the forests, in the gedichte Wälder von Graf Potocki, in the thick forests of Graf Potocki, that's his name. Und hotch men hot gerät, as in ot die Wälder halten sich auf Gazlonim, and even though they said that in these forests there are robbers hiding, is zusammen mit der Meure gewein achayes. Together with the fear, there was pleasure durchzufuhren durch See, to ride through meaning the forests. Ein Ottoman, to breathe in sich die Geschmacke Reches, to breathe in the good smelling odors. Hören dus Pischerei von Vögel, to hear the tweetings of the birds. Die Säudesdickheit von Wald, the secrecy of the forest, hat ungefüllt mit süßen Pachad. The secrets of the forest filled us with sweet fear. Partug hat man sich aufgehabt. Before dawn, we woke up. Ergens in a shtetl, somewhere in a shtetl, in a small town. Über welche Jiden seien gegangen mit Tallesäcklach, and we saw Jews walking by with the Tallesäckles in Schulrein, going to shul, carrying their tallis bags. Dus trinken Tee in a Kretschme und zubeißen heiße Plätzlach mit Mon und Sibyllis. To be able to drink tea in an inn and have, and snack on warm pretzels with poppy seeds and onions, hat a zellige Geschmacke bakt men, was a zellige Geschmacke bakt men nor in Lubliner Gubernia, which such delicious ones are baked only in Lublin province. Hot gehat alle Tamim in der Welt. It had all the most wonderful flavors of the world.
Kennen ich Frag, dear Susan? Was ist Pletzel? Is a roll?
Pletzel is like a Bialystok. The Bialy is a kind of Pletzel. It's a round. Bialy is a Bialystok Pletzel. Is a round bread from Bialystok, but anything round like that is a Pletzel, is a roll.
It made me think of the onion rolls from Ratner's.
Yeah, well, that's a good connection. I would say.
It was a good piece of bread too.
Should I read more or somebody else?
Why don't you a little bit? Yeah.
Okay. Noch is men wieder gefahren, and then we went on our way again. Gehotzket sich, shaking. Aruf von der Boyd, shaking off the wagon. When es ist gegangen bergauf, when the wagon went uphill, und zurückgerein in der Boyd, when es ist gegangen bergauf, and back into the wagon when it went down the hill. Noch hat sich vor die Boyd gegeben Adre. Afterwards, the wagon gave a move und sich übergekehrt mit dem Kopf herab und die Räder herauf and turned on its head with the head up and the wheels, the head down and the wheels up. Jeden haben gekrächzt. Jews krächzt, they complained. Weiber verplontert in their Kleider. Women all tangled up in their long dresses. Haben gejammert, they sobbed. Ich bin gewesen in siebten Himmel. I was in the seventh heaven. Von der Kerenisch. I was in seventh heaven from the fact that the wagon turned over. Dennoch hat man wieder geladen und gebunden und eingestiegen. So afterwards, I'm not sure what geladen means.
They loaded.
Laden is a window.
What?
The word
No,
load-
they reloaded the wagon because it had turned over, so they had to reload.
Oh,
all
they
of-
reloaded and bound up and bound things back up again. Und eingestiegen und der Balagula hat der langt dem Blinden in der Fell for überkehren die Boyd. And the Balagula, the driver, scolded the blind.
No,
No,
He beat him.
Yeah,
He hit him on his back
yeah.
for knocking the wagon over.
Turning it over.
Als is schuldig gewesen der Blinder. He blamed everything on the blind horse.
Thank you, Susan. So, okay. Rachel, it's you now. Also schleppendig und kotzkendig sich und überdrehendig sich und aufheben sich ist man vorbeigefahren allerlei jüdische Städtler, was jeder von sie hat sich gehabt, a besonderen zunommen. So this way, as we were dragging ourselves and shaking and turning upside down and going up, we passed by all the Jewish little towns that each one of them had a different nickname, not just the name of the town, but each one had a nickname. Die Balegoles haben jedes Städtel begegnet mit Zunahmen. Mit dem Zunehmen, wenn sie seinen Arois von Reiwitz haben sie geschrien, hey, still wie ein Reiwitz. So the carriage drivers met every little town with a nickname. When they came out of Reiwitz, they screamed, "Hey, quiet, like in Reiwitz." Weil so hat man gerufen der Städtel. Because this is how they called the town. Die Reiwitzer Leute haben sie zurückgerufen. Bilgoraier Pferdweidlen. Zu lieb dem, was in Bilgorei arbeitet man aus pferdische Haar. And when when the then the people, the inhabitants of Rivets were calling them back, that's horse tails of Bilgorai, because in Bilgorai they cultivate horse hair. Es ist ausgekommen, vorbeizufahren, Piosk, hat sich gar getan, Choscher. If it happened that we passed by a place called Piosk, there was like a tumult. It was Choscher. It got terrible. Die Bilgoraier Balegoles haben gemacht Keules. The carriage drivers of Bilgorai were yelling, Piosker Ganovim, thieves of Piosker. Piosker Majokernikes. Das ist gewesen anzuhören, als in Piosker, Besamidrash, Tormen käme Majaker, nicht sagen beim Herumhüllen dem Talis über den Kopf. Now, Piosker Majakernikes, for that I need the rov. Please. That's,
Okay,
yeah.
so when you start davening, you put on a talus and you say a brocha lehitatev betalit,
Yeah.
and then there's another brocha that you say ma yakar. How
Dear,
dear it is, Hashem is, and how important His world.
okay.
So that's what this my yakornikas, Piosk of my yakornikas, because when you between putting on your talus and putting on your tefillin, they haben sie ausgegampft die tefillin in Piosk.
I understand. Thank you. Thank you.
Mein Tata hat gekommen from a klein Städtel, was heißt Bilki. Und hat gesagt zu mir, in Bilki, wenn man lein the Shema, they schickt dem Hand öffnen dem was pockets, I forgot the word for pockets. Keschene. Ja, nicht auf die Augen. An der Keschene.
Yeah. Die Piosker Balabatim haben nicht verschwiegen die Bilgoraier und gerufen sie Bilgoraier Moileche. So the inhabitants, or the homeowners of Piosker did not let those of Bilgorai and that didn't remain owing them an insult, and they called them Bilgoraier Moilecher. What is a moiler? Is it
Contrabandisten.
Okay, okay, thank you. I didn't know that. Contrabandist. Okay. Das eigene ist vorgekommen in andere Städte, in Krasnostov und in Shebrechin, in Zamość und in Yonev.
Yanov.
Sorry?
Yanov.
Yanov, okay. Yanov, okay. Our own took place.
No, the same happened.
Oh, those eigen is the same. That thank you, Yankov. The same happened in other towns. In this one, and this one, and in this one, and in this one. Die Balegoles haben euch durchgeworfen, sich zunehmen mit anderen Balegoles auf die Wegen. Herumgerissen sich über Covid, wem es darf abtreten dem Weg. The carriage drivers also, they were exchanging nicknames with other carriage drivers on the way, and they were fighting regarding respect. Who is to as I understand, to go first before the other one?
Yeah, if they were coming in the opposite direction, who should stand aside and let the other one pass?
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Schmeißers haben gekibetzt vorbei von die Feuerimlach. Gechappet vorbei von die Poyates. So beaters were
Or coachmen. Schmeißers are coachmen also.
coachmen.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Coachmen were joking as they were passing by peasants, and they were buying female peasants. Der Fahr hat man abgetrogen dem Weg, vorbei reiten die Kosaken, und man hat gedankt, Gott, wenn Gott, und man hat gedankt Gott, wenn man ist, sie arriba beshalem. Therefore, they stepped away and gave the road to the Cossacks who passed by, and we thanked God that their passing by ended up in peace. Nicht allemal, aber vielleicht man können danken Gott dafür, but not each time we could thank God because of that. Yeah, the Cossacks were very violent. Als es hat sich sie geglust, pflegen die Kosaken mechabet sein die Balegoles. When they felt like it, the Cossacks were treating the carriage drivers, and even the passengers with their whips, and that is the Cossacks were using their whips on the carriage drivers and even on the passengers. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, Yankov, you want to continue?
Okay. Verschiedens fleckt treffen auf Ort die zerbrochene stäubige Wegen, über welche wir haben sich geschleppt a Nacht und a Tag. So various things would happen on these broken or very rough, dusty roads over which we we slept a day and a night.
Yeah. Dragging
En-
ourselves.
Sorry?
No, I said dragging ourselves.
Ja.
Schleppend. Yeah.
Schleppen sich, ja. Endlich sind wir angekommen in Bilgerei. Eventually, we arrived in Bilgerei. Weiber haben erkannt die Mama und begegnet sie mit Simcha. So women recognized our mother and they greeted her with Simcha, with joy. Weiß mir nicht, wenn man is Chevele dem Rovs. Goodness me.
Women say, look who I'm seeing.
Okay.
Look
So,
who it is.
Look who it is, right. It's Chevele, the Rov's daughter. Haben sie ausgerufen, kneipendig sich in die Backen verspalles. And they called out, twisting, squeezing her cheeks
That
with enthusiasm.
Kneipen is pinching.
Pinching, yeah.
Yeah,
With enthusiasm. Geider English haben sich gelost laufen zu der Bobben, onzogen ihr als Abesura, als sie hat guest. So Geider English, young schoolboys, ran off to the Bobba to inform her of the news that her guests had arrived. Es hat sich ungeheuben kuschenisch und halsenisch. So kissing and hugging began. Alle haben mich gekuscht. Die Bobbe, Mummes, Kreves, a viele Etelneche. Die ewige Dienst in Seidens Haus. So everybody kissed me. The Bobba, the aunties, relatives, and even Etel Necha, the eternal servant in the Zayda's house. And I think Necha is the crippled, Etel the crippled.
No, it's her name.
It's short for Nechama. I think it's a nickname for Nechama.
Yeah. Etelnecha, that's her. She's the servant.
She's the servant, yes. But
in Hebrew is a cripple, yeah.
Yeah, but Nechama would be with a ches, not with a chaf.
Yeah, but it's Yiddish.
Yeah, it's a name though. It's a nickname.
It's the name. Okay, Etel Necha. Dennoch ist der Seide hereingekommen von Beisdin Stub in Kicher rein und mir gegeben Scholem und mich gefragt, sie ich kann etwas lernen. And afterwards, Seide came in from the courtroom, the Beisdin room, into the kitchen. And he greeted me and asked me if I want to learn something. Bald seien angekommen Vetters und Mummes und Geschwisterkinder. And soon uncles and aunts and cousins came in. Alle haben geredet und ausgefragt sich. Everybody was talking and asking questions. Und die Bobba, a kleiner mit a Seidentichel auf dem Kopf, mit langer, bombelndicke Eierringlich und mit a Pack klingendicke Schlüsseln und Schließlich reingesteckt in Vater, hat nicht aufgehört, kochen sich und schmeien und öffnen Schaffes und rausnehmen allerlei gute Sachen. Let's stop over here. So, and the Bobba who was a small woman with a silk kerchief on her head, with long swinging earrings, and with a pack of ringing keys and locks stuck into her apron, didn't stop cooking for a moment, and bustling around and opening cupboards, taking out all sorts of good things. Lekker und Kommissbräut und kichlich und honigtäglich und Sleuen mit Eingemachten und Fläscher mit Saft. So she kept taking out all sorts of good things, cake, honey cake, and Kommissbräut is like a hard biscuits, and cookies, and honey täglich, jars of eingemachts is jam, and bottles of juice. Und ich habe sich gelost wohl gehen mit die gute Sachen. And I really went to town. I lived it up with all these good, wonderful things. Und die Mama hat mich gewarnt, ich soll haben der Herz und nicht essen so viel. And my mother warned me to take it easy and not to eat such a lot, weil es kann mir noch schaden und ich kann mir keine machen, dem Appetit zu dem Warmes, die Kasche mit euch. So she said I shouldn't eat so much because it would spoil my appetite. And my appetite to the Varmas, to the meal of kasha with soup. Ein Einfall von einer Mama. Imagine such a thing that a mother should say to a child, an idea. Ich habe gekannt noch от der langer Nessia und Tresel nicht auf Essen nach Welt. I could, after this long journey and the shaking of the journey, I could have eaten up the whole world.
Yankev, thank you. May I ask you a Yiddish question? It's not a Rovs, it's a Yiddish question. Yankev.
Okay. Yeah.
You said you were reading Absure. Do we Litvak say Psure or Psore? Psore. What do we Litvak say? Because Psure, I hear the Satmar saying that.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you know?
I suppose it could be Besoira, but the Besura sounds better to my ear.
It sounds what?
It sounds better to my ear.
Yes,
Okay.
Besura, it is Besura.
But what do you say? Susan, what did you say?
That's how I always heard it said, Besura.
Besure?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll change it from now on. All right, thank you. Susan, go on.
Der noch seinen ungekommen Guest. Afterwards, some guests came. Allerlei Weiber mit Seire.
Seidene.
Oh, mit seidene Tichelach all kinds of women with their silk purses, of the,
Chiefs.
excuse me, silk kerchiefs, of
Ja,
on
ja.
wo seinen gekommen sein die Mama, who came to see my mother. Und Shabbos hat sich erst ungeheben die Emisse Chasana. And on Shabbos itself, that's when the real wedding started, the wedding behavior. Alle Weiber,
Alle Weile.
Alle Weile is a rein a Mädele mit a Teller Kugel. Each time there was a girl would come in with a pot of Kugel, oder mit a Teller Rosenkis, or a plate of a bowl of raisins, Mandeln und Strudel, almonds and strudel, und a Zugtun, and she said, Liebeich, welcome, Rebbitzin, mit euer Gast, with your guest. Die Mama hat geschickt Kovet.
Kibbut.
Oh, die Mama hat geschickt Kibbut. My mother sent something to eat. Und die Bobbe hat dem Schliach gegeben, süße Sachen für den Weg und gewünschen zurück. And my grandmother gave the messenger something sweet to eat on the way and wished her back, mit Mazel sollst du leben, may you live with good luck. Im Mirz Hashem, auf Simchas bei dir, Mädel. God willing, only Simchas for you, my dear girl.
You want to read more?
Mazel sollst zu leben. My father used to say that it meant like that, to put salt, like to give your life flavor. Mazel sollst zu leben. The luck should give your life flavor.
Yeah, they all use these things. Yeah. Susan, you want to continue?
Okay.
Or I
Das Mädel, und das Mädel ist rot geworden wie ein Feuer und dich entlaufen. And the girl became red as a fire and quickly ran away. Und Vetters und Mummes haben gemacht bei sich in die Heimen Kiddush für uns. And uncles and aunts made, they made the Kiddush. I guess they gave us food for a Kiddush, and they made it in their homes, and they made it for us. Or they actually invited them to have Kiddush with.
Yeah. They invited them for Kiddush in their own homes.
In their homes. Und ich hab gehalten in ein Naschen und Naschen und Naschen. And I kept on nashing and nashing and nashing. Und noch,
Yeah.
snacking. Noch haben die Vetters gefragt bei der Mama. And then afterwards, the uncles asked my mother, was es macht Pinchas Mendel? How's it going with Pinchas Mendel? Das heißt, der Tate meine, meaning my father. Dabei haben sie geschmeichelt, wie man schmeichelt über einem, wenn man halt für ein nicht gerottenem. And when they were asking that, as they kind of smiled the way you smile about somebody who you don't think much of.
Yeah.
You don't think much of them. In der Mishpocha, somebody in the family you don't think much of. Und mich hat verdrossen dus, and this annoyed me, was sie rufen mein Taten dem Rov, and it annoys me that they call my father the rabbi by heimischen Nomen, by his regular name, Pinchas Mendel, they didn't call him Rabbi, they called him Pinchas Mendel, was keiner pflegt ihm azoi nicht rufen, which nobody ever called him, und noch mehr dus, and even more the fact that was sie haben dabei geschmeichelt sehr häusedig schmeichelig über him, and at the same time they smiled, sort of making fun of him. Aber ich hab lang nicht gekannt sich opessen das Herz darüber. I couldn't keep on getting annoyed at this, weil ich bin gewesen überwältigt von Simcha, because I was overwhelmed or filled up with Simcha über der neue Stadt. Over the whole town, Iberdin, English. Oh, I was filled with joy about the whole town. Iberdin, Naya English, about the new kids, was haben mich aufgenommen in Zeir Sviva, who took me into their groups, their neighborhood, their gangs or their groups. Und mehr von als über dem Seidenshaus, and more than that, because of my Zayda's house is gewesen full mit Kinder und Kindskinder, which was full of children and grandchildren, und Kräuvim und guests and relatives and guests und glatt Menschen and just people. Tomit hat in der Rabbinischen Haus gekocht. Oh, and always in that rabbi's house, it was always busy. Gekocht. Everything was always cooking. Bewegt sich, and was bubbling. Und der Samovar. Bewegt sich in der Samovar, and it was bubbling in the Samovar. Hat gesotten in Menschen haben getrunken Tee. What's gesotten? Sotten.
It was always full. It was always full.
The samovar was bubbling, I think.
It was always full.
Oh, it was full. Okay. Und Menschen haben getrunken Tee und zugebissen etwas. People drank tea and they snacked on something else.
All right. Thank you. Noch unser unmetiger Stub in Lenchen is auch die satte gepackte Stub gewesen, aber Leunung. After our sad house in Lenchen, this house, this well satisfied, full house was a reward for me. Die kleine Bobbe hat gehalten in einer Rumläufen mit kurze Giche Drittelach, schokolendick mit die lange Euerringlach und klingendick mit die Schlüsseln. The small grandma kept running with the short, quick steps, shaking with the long earrings, and making sounds with the keys. Und gesehen great keyboard und Essen für Menschen. And she constantly was preparing treats. It's treats and food for people. Etel neche hat sie gerufen die Dienst. Etliche was calling the servant. Etliche hab a Blick zum Oven. Take a look at the oven. In großen Oven hat sich ständig etwas gebacken oder gekocht. In the big oven, there was always something baking or cooking. Do we still have time?
It's 2:35.
Oh boy. The next chapter is the best. Okay, you want to stay a little longer?
Okay.
Okay, mein Seide der Moschel und mein Bobbe, was bunte wird sich gegen Malchus. My grandfather, the ruler, and my grandma, who is rebelling against the kingdom,
Authority.
against authority. Yeah,
Where does the word Moshel come from? What is,
Hebrew.
and what is
Hebrew,
exactly?
limshol, moshel. That's to rule. Yeah,
to rule?
to rule. Yeah, and moshel is a ruler in Hebrew.
Hmm.
Von ersten Blick hat Seide mich gefangen mit seiner Persönlichkeit. Was hagam ich ob demort nicht verstanden den Main davon, ob ich es ober der Field. From my first look at him, my grandfather captured me with his personality, and which I did not understand what it meant before. I didn't understand why, but I felt it. I sensed it. Is gewesen a hoicher Jid mit dunkele, durchdringliche Augen, mit ein edel, aber streng Ponym, mit a groyer Bord und Payes. He was a tall Jew with dark, penetrating eyes, with a gentle but strong face, with a gray beard and payas. He was bony and sharp. A würdiger, that's an admirable, dignified, a Schweiger. He was a quiet person. Ich weiß nicht, für was das ist gewesen, noch von ersten Augenblick ob ich vor ihm Meure gekrogen und gleichzeitig ein Lieb gehabt. I don't know why it was like that, but from the first time that I saw him, I was afraid of him. And at the same time, I loved him. Ich bin nicht gewesen der Einzige, was hat gehabt dem Gefühl. I wasn't the only one that had that feeling. Meiste Jiden in Stadt haben vor ihm Meure gehabt und ihm lieb gehabt. Most Jews in the town were afraid of him and loved him at the same time. Also ist es euch gewesen mit seine eigene ausgegebene Kinder. That's how it was also with his own children that were already married. All right. Jakob, you want to continue?
Okay. Nicht nur die Töchter haben nicht gewagt, herauszureden ein Wort zu ihm, ob allein hat nicht früher geredet zu sein. nor a viele nicht die Sinn, a viele nicht die älster Sohn seiner, Josef, was ist Sachako gewinn mit 16 Jahren jünger von Vater und ist gewinn dahin in der eigenen Stadt. So it was not only the daughters who didn't dare to say a word to him. If he hadn't previously spoken to them, but even not his son, not even his sons, not even his oldest son, Joseph, who was in Sachakol in Gansen, he was only 16 years younger than his father. And he was already a judge in his own town. Wieviel mal der Vetter Joseph hat gedacht, reingehen zum Seiden in Beistin Stub, ist reingegangen mit Meure und der Cheretz. How often Uncle Joseph needed to go into the Zayda's courtroom, is reingegangen mit Meure und der Cheretz. He went in with fear and respect, wie wollte sich gedarf beweisen für gerechten und strengen Richter, as if he had to appear before a fair and strict judge.
Thank you.